It depends, right? Like, if it's at night, is it not at night? Just for that little bit of extra slow duration can be the difference maker. But once you get to a certain point of the game, the Dark Ascension starts to lower enough in cooldown that it's always going to be very powerful. That just seems nuts. 4 seconds slow duration at night. AoE twice. Like what could you possibly do against that?
Wait, so the talents for Night Stalker is 6 armor replaced with 10 Dark Ascension duration. I've read damage for both. Okay, so his 10 talent is
That's still
plus
pretty
10
good.
duration, and then his 15 talent is plus 50 Dark Ascension damage. And I just saw on the ESL stream one of the offlaner for Team Spirit, I think it's Collapse.
Yep.
He went Arcane Blink on Night Stalker, and I'm pretty sure had like a full uptime at late game. So that was almost full uptime.
Was he level 25 or
Yes,
just like
yeah.
off? Well, you get, was it 60 seconds less on the
Yeah, 60 seconds.
Okay, IG, you've redeemed yourself. We're getting IO.
Have they redeemed themselves?
I mean, when's the last time you've seen an IO?
True, this hero was kind of down in the dumps for a while. I mean, do you feel like the buffs to the IO is enough?
Very minor, only just increasing the heal with the tether by 0.1 at each level, so nothing major. Did they change the talents at all on IO? Let me
I
have a quick
don't
look.
think so. I'm trying to.
I think it was just that, just off memory.
Max tether distance increased by 100, and then yeah, the heal amp. That's it.
Eh, I mean, it seems about right.
Okay,
It doesn't feel busted for sure. It just feels like it's pretty standard. I'm always trying to kind of find these combinations that are just like, it always tends to be around neutral items or new talents that some of these broken mechanics start to become a factor. And unfortunately for IO, nothing that's changed about him or it or they is really busted. It just seems like it's starting to creep back to be a niche pick, and I think that's where it needs to be.
Yeah, we really saw it was not getting picked or banned, and I think that's the big thing. When teams aren't banning the IO against the IO kind of classics on a lot of like European, it feels like every single team over there will play the IO, and honestly, any tier 1 team needs to know how to play the IO because how it can just change the concept of Dota. And the fact that we weren't seeing it banned was really interesting. But we're looking for a position 2 for Invictus Gaming and a flex between a 3 and a 1 for RNG. They banned the gyro, so they think this Night Stalker is an offlaner.
5 seconds remaining.
I wonder if they could even Chaos Knight. Like, it sounds weird, but I just feel like it's really strong when paired together with the Copper. The damage potential that you have is nuts. They do ban out the Nature's Prophet. It was something that God King played, I believe, once in one of their first series, and did a pretty good job with it. Against the Ursa, of course, it's nice to be able to kite someone around. The Earthshock helps a little bit, but you've also got a Clockwork that's going to be able to prevent that. But I'm just not sure how confident I'm feeling about Night Stalker laning into an Ursa. Like that's my main area of concern right now. So I think this Night Stalker is most likely to be an offlane. Not an offlane. Safe lane.
Safe lane. Are there any picks that you're hoping for emo? I think Conquer was probably one of the best bans. I was thinking that myself, and then I saw it banned out. I'm now not sure what they can go for, because you can't go for like a Spirit Hero. Ember doesn't look good versus the Invoker, not against a Night Stalker.
But I feel like you need something that's going to be able to move around, right? You're against a Clockwork. Natural 4-star builder. It's okay. Instantly going for the Lifestealer. Okay, so it is an offlane Night Stalker into the Ursa. I'm not sure how confident I'm feeling about that. And yeah, we were talking about the style of heroes that Red Panda likes to play. Well, it's going to be a 5 Clockwork, so it is still that pairing at least. So you're going to get a good amount of harass in onto either the Ursa or the IO. Depends on who they're focusing on. Just spamming out that void as much as possible.
Yeah, so we'll see the flex coming through from the Night Stalker into the position 3. They were pretty confident with the Lifestealer pickup here for God King. Feels like the Ursa matches pretty well versus him, and Lifestealer is not a hero that does. He's not as much of a lane dominating hero as you'd expect. So I feel like Tide should still get a decent amount out of that lane.
Yeah, but I feel like this means the D-Stones can go for a Quaswex build as opposed to an Exort and just make his priority preventing this Ursa from doing damage, basically. Like, just get him out of the fight as well if you're able to get some form of lockdown onto this Queen of Pain, pre-BKB, through the Cold Snap and an Urn. You're going to stop her being able to blink, which is always nice. And, of course, the EMP just to make her basically useless. So I think that's going to be D-Stone's job in the super early game. Eventually, he's going to be able to go into an Alacrity style where, honestly, he could even be buffing up Flyby, right? And still be having a really high level of impact.
Are you a fan of either team's draft here? Do you feel like IG maybe have a bit of an advantage heading into this second game, which could enable them to take it 2-0? Or do you think RNG can even up the series?
I think it's just going to come down to individual execution. Like, it's not an amazingly strong lane with this Red Panda Clockwork and God King Lifestealer, but if you're a Nyx Assassin and you get caught next to the Battery Assault, you're dead meat, right? Like, you don't have an amazing way to escape. You pop the Carapace, you can just rage chase him down, and you're probably not going to be able to get off the Impale either, just with the mini stuns coming through. So I feel like it's going to come down to, actually, well, looks like it's Exort with the Sunstrike coming in immediately as we load into the game.
Okay. So D-Stone's looking to play a little bit more greedy here with the Exort then, which is... well, who makes plays then throughout the early game? I feel like now, without having like Coswex and the Urn to lock in the Queen of Pain, her mobility and playmaking capabilities on the side lanes just gets that much easier.
It does, and I mean, what I'm going to be looking out for is the ward placement at the 5-minute mark. Everything needs to be in place, ready to go from IG's side, because Invoker's not making any rotations. Lifestealer's not making any rotations. It's going to be this Night Stalker looking to take advantage of first nighttime. He's going to be joined together by the Clockwork, and of course the Keeper of the Light backing him up, just so that they've got that additional layer of slows for the Night Stalker through the void.
Tower looks so weird with that spray. The Radiant tier 1 mid. It's just a extra skin to the dragon.
It's just an ice cream cone,
Yeah. Don't mind me some cream cones.
The battle begins.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got some
ice cream?
like... well, I do, but there was this half-price, like, mochi at Coles, so I'm going to have that. It's really good.
Mochi?
It's like fruit. Yeah, it's like Japanese style ice cream.
Oh, okay. Is that the dessert after the cast?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. That's a good
way.
way.
It's kind of squishy, but what's the consistency like? Kind of like a jelly baby, a little bit, but with a little bit more chew to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Tasty. That's the important thing.
Tasty.
If it's tasty, then you're all down for it. Which now I'm intrigued to see how the mid lane fares, because D-Stone's going for the Exort. Yes, he's going to have a couple of points in cost, but I wonder if not the mass commitment into putting more points in cost in the laning stage versus someone like the Queen of Pain with that constant harassment could spell a bit of an issue here for D-Stones.
Yeah, are you just talking about the passive regen coming out and, you know, with the Shadow Strike making it a bit more difficult? I suppose maybe they were looking to take advantage of the fact that, like I was talking about before, with Kaka, you could see he's just trying to get everything out of the Impale that he can, while he can. But as soon as Red Panda hits up onto level 2 and he gets the cogs, you've got the capability to go for these sorts of Sunstrike plays. Maybe not so much onto Kaka, because you could just get a Sunstrike reflected right back into you, but I mean, you never know.
Well, this bear lane versus Flyby, an early Orb of Venom, and Flyby's actually in trouble. They've stacked up the Fury swipes, and well, Firefly has been on some incredibly comfortable heroes in Game 1 and Game 2 now on the Ursa. He's now has the boots completed, which is going to further enable him to play aggressive with the Io.
Oh, Emo, he was able to snatch away the water rune right in front of D-Stone's face. Nicely done by him. And with that increased movement speed, with the Shadow Strike in onto him, he's not going to be able to get towards the top side in time. Did he? Hold on. How did that rune go away? Oh, Red Panda just rotated through. Got it, alright.
Oh, Red Panda's on top of Karka. A lot of damage. No one's taking up the battery assault with Karka at the moment. JT? Whoa, I thought he was going to take up the battery assault, but they just chased down Karka. That's a kill without even the help of the Sunstrike.
And yeah, going into the Midas for D-Stone. So playing a little bit more passive here. They've got the Forge Spirit as well, so going to assist with last hitting in this lane. Still have to be careful about playing against Emo, and you can see here the rotation coming through from Karka, making sure that he gets that bottle refilled.
The lovely life as a support player to enable your position too. Does feel like, I mean, you take a look at the position in the lane at the moment, like JT, it's Night Stalker again. Flyby, they need one more tick of the orb to slow him down, and now with the Earthshock up and available, another kill for Firefly.
I mean, this is what I was talking about, right? Like, it's why I was fairly confident that this was going to be a position 1 Night Stalker, because this lane just, it's not it. You know, once you get to nighttime, you're generally feeling okay, but the fact that they've already given 2 kills over to this Ursa is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, and now at that first nighttime, Ursa should be able to man fight. And you also have the Queen of Pain that can maybe TP in, blink forward, and drop Sonic Wave when they get aggressive, and then all of a sudden, your Night Stalker 3 has died 3 times, and in fact, he's got a Meteor Hammer queued up. So he has a completely different look on this hero than what I've seen so far.
Alright. RNG, they've kind of lost me with their randomizations.
Yeah,
it's just like, you know, the Tusk Ags, I was like, well, I can kind of see how it works against an Omni Knight. It didn't, but I could see what they were going for. The Lina go on the Skadi, for me, it didn't really make that much sense. The Meteor Hammer, I don't see it. You know, you've got a Clockwork, sure, you can put him inside a Cogs and then Meteor Hammer after that, but is that really what you want to be doing, is this Night Stalker?
I feel like, well, we're going to see.
Going on again.
Yeah, Flyby. Taking a lot of damage from the Illuminate. Sunstrike's out. They won't eat it up, though. And now Felix. I mean, this is face boots on Fly. So Felix, he's probably going to fall as well, unless a quick reaction in the TP. Oh, that's... I just... don't know. This is not a good lane. It's to be expected with Night Stalker's first 5 minutes. He's not the greatest laner at all. But my issue is itemizing to not help enable him through the first nighttime. And that's when he can maybe get back in the game.
Yeah, and that's without any TPs coming to help. This is just purely an Io and an Ursa doing this for themselves.
And meanwhile, JT's top of the last hits. He's having a really good lane versus the Lifestealer. 29.
Yo, it is that first nighttime though. But business as usual.
I mean, Clock's trying to come down bot. They've got to be careful. They also probably are aware of this, considering the Clockwork hasn't shown in a lane in a while. And well, especially with him trying to kill Flyfly's Koro, they are aware of this. But Flyfly doesn't care. He's jumping on forward on top of Flyby. But where's the extra number here from Invictus Gaming? They're still looking to stand their ground and man fight up to 8 Fury swipe stacks. At least the Ursa can jump out of the cogs. Now he wants to try and target down Felix, but Io is just giving them so much aggressive capabilities. Like, Flyfly's going under the T1 tower. This lane, no one can go to it now. Red Panda, not going to get brought down. The cogs gives him some survivability.
Sunstrike is available. Not going to use it just yet, though. Was that, oh, okay, Karka just taking a couple of bounty runes away. Why not? This is getting a little bit out of control.
Oh, no. And on mid, they want to jump these stones. Karka will start. A miss on the Impale, and no detection's going to cost them. And now maybe Karka will be penalized for this. Great use of the Spike Carapace. It's not going to tick out unless these stones can hit the Sunstrike. He's got it up in 3 seconds. Is he going to go for it? Do it.
Or,
Do it.
yeah, but he's got the Tranquils now. He might be okay. Yep. Just fine. You gotta risk it for the biscuit, you know?
You do. It's worth it. I mean, it's a lot of mana, so probably 175 for... I mean, he would 100% miss considering the Tranks and Kaka resetting. But again, they're looking mid. Off the mark. Maybe Emo with a double damage room, but he's also out of mana. So with this heavy commitment, Kaka, this time, he'll make an example of his aggressive positioning.
But it's still 3-2, you know? Tidehunter's farming. He's capable of just going past this lane. He tried to take it away as... Oh, God King, he's looking to manipulate these lanes as well. It's a big brawling battle between two beefy boys.
Flyby, not again. Ursa's like, do I want the kill? Do I want the creep wave? What's easier? What's not? Looks like in the end he'll go for the creep wave. Lifesteal has stole the Sator Tormentor creep as well at the Infest. He's like, you ain't getting this gold. And I'm making sure if I can't get it, then you're not.
It's looking like it's going to be a fairly early mech picked up by Ollie. He's still got the mech recipe component, of course, to finish up, 800 gold away, but Ursa, he's given himself the best possible start to this. I mean, he's got the Blade of Alacrity, probably just the S&Y, looking to build up that movement speed with, of course, the use of the tether.
Emo, it's like he should be able to get a solo kill on the river over against Red Panda, unless he gets the lucky... That's, not what you want to see. Bit unfortunate there.
Skill. No luck about it.
No luck about it at all. I like Flyby's phase boots is what he's picked up now. He's not rushing the Meteor Hammer, and he's had enough of this lane. I mean, as soon as... In the next minute 10, I don't believe he'll be able to cut the creep wave once this nighttime expires, so... Could be a bit difficult for him to keep up with the farm and experience that he's getting.
They had a little bit of an expedition there, so Flyby was able to see that there is a stack built up to the right of the tier 1 tower. I think Kaka tried to pull a creep wave into the main jungle area, but of course you're not able to do that. It needs to pass that little valley there to the left of the tier 1 tower bot before the creeps will actually aggro onto anything else. And there we go. They steal it away. So Flyby is able to pick up the phase boots and a little bit of extra gold beyond that.
Looks like IG, though, want to get active early on, maybe with the sustain that Ollie can provide and the tankiness from JT, just to take this early tier 1 tower, but great positioning from Felix. Well aware of his job this game, just to be the tower defender at the best rate he can be, but still got to be careful because Emo's hunting.
Talismans.
Yeah,
he has 4 null talismans as a position 4 keeper of the light.
Like, all the spell amp. So difficult.
I hope they get they have a Fairy's Trinket. Why does Invoker need it, you know? Give it to the Coddle.
Felix is the true support. Like, okay, fine. You can take one of the better neutral items. It's understandable as D-Stones has the Midas completed. Has been farming relatively well here, ahead of Emo and bot lane. Flyby, Dark Ascension pop, but just gets to safety. Unfortunately, Fly still lacking the damage here for the Diffusal Blade, which will be an incredible timing considering his 5,600 in the net worth.
Nice scan coming through as well. That was a close call with Kaka. Gone on a bit of a hunt there. He'll be able to claim that last creep. Never mind, Red Panda makes sure to clean it up. Yeah, that Diffusal Blade. I mean, it's just going to enable so much about their team, right? Like, it's not so super useful against the Lifestealer, of course. He can just rage it off. He only finally puts a couple of points to rage at this point. At level 7, I don't think he had any. But of course, the Night Stalker hasn't had the best start to the game.
Emo just drops the Sonic Wave with no hesitation onto Red Panda, and another hero getting denied as well. That is some gold experience going going no one's way, I should say, unfortunately for Invictus Gaming. They might catch out Flyby though. Yeah, this time with the diffusal, he will not be able to get to safety. I really want to see IG like make a play around top or mid. Like you've got Ravage up now without Sonic Wave is a bit unfortunate, but like let's get some towers to your name here because you feel really strong. And I mean, Life still is not at that stage. She actually just completed.
JT? He's getting sandwiched here by 4 different heroes, but the TPs eventually do come. It's daytime, so that they see the Ursa coming towards the top side.
They
That's
might drop
early
Ravage.
Range, so
yeah, they're going to fly with the diffuser blade. There's no escape on God King, and he can play around with the armlet toggles. Infest coming through, not fast enough. Is now Red Panda. That's the next target on the casualty list as Fly jumps into the cogs, not even caring about the batteries there to prevent the kill.
Just some indecision there. Like Red Panda was in position to be able to go for that, and he could have even maybe hook shot back to the Keeper of the Light just to get them both to safety, but not opting to do so. That's a big kill onto the Lifestealer because, as much as Tidehunter's been farming on the top side, so is the Lifestealer. So the fact that they were able to take him out, build the lead further, and now they can even look to put some pressure onto the tower if they want.
Well, they're taking Roche, and it is scouted out, Dai with the Observer Ward nearby. And so they've got to be cautious how low they bring down Roshan. Wait, relocate down bot, Kaka.
See you later,
set up for the
Flyby.
Night Stalker. This is going to be your 5th death of the game. And this time, no way to get the deny. And now Kaka is going to look to TP to mid so they can make sure they secure Roshan. Wait, what? That Spike Cobras didn't stun the Felix Coddle. Okay, God King though, once again, in a bizarre position here. Maybe he get the Infest out in the nick of time. Fly is so incredibly weak with Hookshot controlling him. D-Stone's dishing out an immense amount of damage here with the Meatball, and unfortunately the Irish sustain is not enough. Dire will tank up through the Sonic Wave as Emo doesn't have any mana left to utilize the Scream.
Yeah, just a little bit slow on that one there, fighting around areas where they didn't have an amazing amount of vision, and as well, Io had actually finished up the mechanism, but didn't send it out to himself in time. So if they had that, it's potentially Ursa living for another couple of seconds, they get it a cleanup, and then they can transition that one into Roche. But they know that now with the start that this Ursa has, that Roche is always on the menu. You can see, ignoring the bottom side. He's stayed there for far too long. He just wants to try and get as active as possible. Maybe finish up the Blink Dagger first, but beyond that, he's just going to connect with his team constantly.
That's a scary kill to give her to D-Stones. 568 gold, and I mean, he has one of the best Invokers in the game. Level 29 Invoker. Everyone knows him from the introduction to the scene through this hero in particular. And giving him that influx of gold, his 30 net worth. He's actually going for Yulsep the next, just a great way to heavily mitigate the Ursa's presence through the fights and kite him, and potentially against this Orchid that's soon to be picked up from Emo as well.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as you see that Enrage pop pre-BKB, you'll spam. Like, it's one of the few things that isn't actually reduced by status resistance. So why not just throw him up into the air and make his ultimate mostly useless. Bottom lane. They're looking to put a little bit of pressure onto this bottom side of the map. They got to be careful about showing that, though, because as soon as D-Stones is here in the lane, well, actually, they had the ward down, so they can see that's happening. Yeah, just do straight Roche.
Or maybe a kill. Coddle.
No, I feel like Roche is definitely the play. You've got the Ravage on
flyby. Instant jump in the Ursa. No mana, no attempt in the Dark Ascension. Maybe that pick-off should be able to lead you into Roshan. It should have the Medallion minus armor and the Gush will make it a whole lot easier. Oh, this is a huge timing as well. I think Emo just completed Orchid, JT with Soul Crest, so their towers are going to start to evaporate now from IG's hefty mid-game timing. Maybe they get the Roche kill. Yep, they do. Okay, 135 gold. It's definitely nothing to slide about.
Particularly for this Night Stalker. With that, he's actually able to finish the Meteor Hammer.
Let's
the
go.
16-minute phase boots Meteor Hammer. Let's go, baby! I'm not thinking it's going to do that much, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he's got the tech.
What do you mean? You're not sold on the Meteor Hammer? Surely there's huge outplay potential here, as he's using it to farm up the neutrals. He's getting that gold. He's getting that dosh.
But get the Midas, you know, if you want to do that. I hate Midas, and I'm saying I would prefer Midas to this Meteor Hammer.
So they go up to top now after the tier 1. Just methodical gameplay it could be from IG. Tier 2 is a little bit more difficult because of how Coddle can still position and with 4 nulls can spam out these creep waves with ease.
JT TP to the bottom side of the map, so they know that Ravage is going to be down that side as immediately TP rotations come up towards the top side. It's going to be scary fighting into this Aegis, but they're going to make a go for it.
Sure, on top of the Nyx, Tornado as well, controlling Fly, but at least he has Oli nearby. Flyby is trying to cut away the IO assistance. Blinding Light breaks the tether as well. He's got the mechanism still to continue the sustain. Tether up in a couple seconds. So now the Night Stalker has to be cautious of his positioning, but they're going to jump the backline instantly. Fly straight on top of Felix is able to kill off the Coddle. And the Dark Ascension's about to expire here, so the Night Stalker has to continue to kite this down to the southern side without a TP. Oh, they don't guess the right way. Emo thought he was still hiding on the high ground.
And that's a Keeper of the Light without any points into the,
Red Panda
the Solar Bone.
Is also going to get picked off as well. Fly is just... Again, these cogs, he doesn't care. Jump in, blink in, whatever he wants to do. Maybe this mid tower will fall from Flyby. Hey, seen some value out of the media.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Oh, God King. It's difficult for maybe Karka with Impale to start. He even goes for the Vendetta kit beforehand, and they got the follow-up control thanks to the Orchid. I thought Karka... Oh. There we go. Value, Flyby. Let's go.
That was a right click. That was not the media.
No. It was set up by the media. Flyby. It's going to go for a TP out. Do they have it cancelled? Also... Still, it's only a 2,000 net worth lead, even though it feels like IG have just been completely dominating. It feels like the big X factor is in that experience lead, which is up to 6,000 at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just having a look at the levels all throughout, it's a fairly dominant performance right now, and I mean, they can look to fix it somewhat once Felix hits onto his level 10. I don't think he needs the 4th point to the Chakra Magic,
Emo?
that extra...
The creep blocked the hook shot. Just nothing's going right for RNG.
Feels bad, man. The extra Blinding Light miss chance is going to be huge once Coddle hits up onto level 10, but I just feel like this is way too greedy with the 4 Null Talisman build. It just doesn't feel like you accomplish much. You're basically sitting back and waiting for the enemy team to come to you.
Smoked up. Dire.
Ooh, they smoked just before.
Yeah, so they see the positioning. I know the ward's placed on the high ground. Karka will pop the smoke. Gotta be careful. He's got force. Can he get himself back to safety? He's gonna go to the western side, but now with the Ravage dropped on 3, they'll target down the Coddle. Who do they want to prioritize next? Emo with a jump in. Looks like D-Stones will be the priority, and they'll melt through the Invoker. The sound of the retreat is forced for RNG. An infested up Night Stalker, he'll get to safety, but Red Panda won't have the same fate as JT claims the double. Well, they're under a ward too, God King. I don't think it matters. Okay. There you go. Yeah, like you said, mid lane pushed in. Let's get some kills. Let's get some objectives.
The siege creep coming to join it as well, so have to be careful. Don't want to immediately, preemptively use it.
Oh, first hit bash. Oh my god, Fly, stop it! It's a beatdown. I feel like the Night Stalker's had enough. 7 deaths. Oh, the Coddle is almost got a higher net worth than your position 3.
To be fair, Coddle hasn't been making plays. He's just been sitting back and pushing out waves, which, there's value to it, but I feel like he hasn't made his offlaner's job any easy.
No, without a doubt. God King? Well, Fly, there's another bash instantly though. He doesn't care about the life, so he wants to try and jump to deal with the Coddle, but it means that Oli is going to get brought down here. The Ira has been a key component through these fights here from Invictus Gaming. Is this going to now enable RNG as the Aegis ticks out? It just expired before that fight, so again, we're seeing Invictus Gaming a little bit too overzealous with their fight decision making.
Yeah, I guess just expecting that I wouldn't be dying that early on. It shows how different it is if you're able to get that goddamn support on the back lines. And for one of these few fights, they finally do. So 3 kills going down for IG. it's still a 2k net worth lead, but most importantly, a lot of gold go in the way of God King, and even more important, I would say, is the experience. He's caught up in levels.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That's a big one here for the Lifestealer. Is working on the BKB as his next item as well. So the big issue has been is the magical burn. I mean, he's still going to be bashed through the magic immunity, but it just feels like losing all your mana. It's a big issue for someone who doesn't have the greatest mana pool.
See if Flower.
Oh, where was this? Okay, down
The
bar.
world is safer now.
I think he just wanted to slowly inch his way up onto the lane. There are even Sudge striking range creeps just to try and keep the lane pushed in, but it's not going to do so. Fly, he's happy to farm it up. His teamfight potential is just accelerated so much as soon as he picks up that BKB. Suddenly you don't have to worry about the Invoker at all. You don't have to worry about the Keeper of the Light. And, I mean, somewhat the Clockwork, but you know, he's been pretty good with holding his Earth Shock to make sure he's getting in and out of the cogs at the perfect
Emo.
times.
Hookshots on the mark now with the burst from the Sunstrike and the Infest combo. The first time we've really seen RNG actually try and make a play this game, and it nets him in a big kill on Emo. Oh, wait, Ollie? Okay, he's got creeps to tether to. No problem there at all. Relocate on cooldown, I suppose. But now this will allow Dire to take the tier 1 tower. There looks to be no answer from Invictus Gaming.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Still hasn't even picked up his, I suppose there's not really much point in the IO having boots, but normally you see it, and then you disassemble arcane boots so that you can go into the Holy Locket, but he's just wanting to go straight
Radiant's
locket.
top tower is
Getting a
under
lot closer
attack.
to it, of course, and maxing
these
out that
stones.
tether as you need to.
Uh-oh. Smoke is there. Do they want to dive the tower with a Ravage mainly? Nope. They will opt that. It's a bit too deep. You know, we saw what happened in their last big team fight with how aggressive they went. This time there. Yeah. Looks like they've learnt their lesson.
God damn, JT is farmed. Level 17.
Yeah.
He's building into a Satanic next.
So much survivability. It's crazy.
So just thinking about how both teams need to be taking these team fights, of course, most important priority, get rid of this IO for RNG, and then, you know, for IG's perspective, they'll be looking to go on to the Clockwork. Sorry, not Clockwork. Keeper of the Light or the Invoker.
Yeah.
Do they have any detection that they're carrying right now? I can't see any outside of on the... Oh, missed hook shot onto Kaka. Other than the dust on Kaka. But I'm not sure if he's going to be the one that's immediately within the team fight that's going to be able to follow up and get that detection off.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right with the priority that needs to come from IG. Like, jumping the Coddle and also the Invoker is going to be detrimental for them to secure these team fights. And the net worth lead is, you know, continuing to be cut in half here. As RNG, they're only down by 1,000 gold, and the BKBs are starting to be completed as well. D-Stones has enough for his recipe. God King just completed his own as well. So we're going to have an incredibly big team fight break out around the Roche Pit.
Yeah, Fly very close to his as well. And his level 18. Can't discount the effect that 30-second Enrage has. Sorry, 30-second cooldown on Enrage has.
Fly.
Pinging him out though.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
Be
tower
careful.
BKB's getting delivered. Popped in rage. There's the hook shot still with the BKB. Freshly
Just
picked
got
up.
delivered.
Dire's
Relocate's
top
going to come
tower
into
is
play
under
here from
attack.
Fly. But it looks
Ooh,
like
back
Dark
line,
Ascension, the
Flyby.
back line Flyby. Looking to try and swoops in. See if they can disrupt and kind of cut off the IO reinforcement.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Io relocating all the way back towards the top side where he was pushing out that lane. And, well, they don't want to get absolutely nothing out of this Dark Ascension.
Radiant
Just acting as a
structures are
roaming waters
fortified.
flyby as the bot lane continues to get pushed in. Very low tier 2 tower, which, with this creep wave and maybe an Alacrity on himself, He's always playing very careful, even at night time.
This could be a solid fight here for RNG with their timings and knowing that the BKB was wasted from the Ursa, but you got to be careful about the potential Ravage. So really relying on the start to the fight as IG, they're going to smoke up. Heading to the northern side. Unfortunately, they've lost their observer advantage at the moment. And Zemo, he's actually going to start the fight. He's still got his own BKB. JT with the blink in forward as well. They don't want to solely drop the Ravage on Red Panda, but God King now, he might be forced to pop the BKB. Instantly going to do so once the Rage expires. He's forcing back JT, so he's unable to use the Ravage at the moment. But God King's got to be careful because now he doesn't have a target for the Ravage. If JT wants to pop it, doesn't find the angle just yet, but now with the blink in, straight on top of the lifesteal, there's no potential survivability as RNG were too far away. I mean, it was a nice attempt. You saw he was consistent with that magic immunity, forcing away the tide to make his team fight presence lackluster, but as soon as it expired, he was in a difficult position to get back to safety afterwards, and now IG can take the second Roche of the game.
They can, and it was another one of those fights where you just unfortunately didn't feel the impact of this Keeper of the Light. You know, he's going into a sheepstick build, which, I don't hate. It forces the enemy team to actually go and pop their BKBs nice and early, which enables, the potential turnaround from the likes of the Invoker, but at least until you pick up sheepstick and a Ghost Scepter, it feels like you're always going to be somewhat vulnerable.
There are still ways here for RNG. I feel like late game Ursus should have a really good matchup versus the Lifestealer. But I mean, D-Stones has played... I've always seen D-Stones turn games around from nowhere with his Invoker. And so they have that capability. He could really be the true win condition. The Midas will allow him to scale, and his damage is going to continue to ramp up with max out Exor and Wex. We've seen that IG, they have sometimes gone a little bit too overzealous and aggressive in fights, so they just have to play off the back of a potential misplay around a choke point. We can see this kind of hook shot into big combo from the Invoker, maybe the Coddle dishing in some damage as well. There are signs for RNG, but things are looking beautiful right now for Radiant.
Yeah, for sure. And JC just has the confidence to walk up and take that shrine when he knows there were at least 2 or 3 RNG heroes there, but he doesn't care. He knows how next to indestructible he is. Level 20, got that extra Kraken shell damage block. I don't mind it at all. I mean, not that you're getting right-clicked by this Night Stalker all that much, but it just means that he can stand against this Lifestealer and not be too worried. He's still obviously going to be taking some of the damage and, having the sustain from the max lifesteal for the Feast, but it's not something that you should be overly concerned about.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how RNG are able to play around the Hex pickup, because you're getting a lot more farm than the Night Stalker, so you have to show this farm into reality in these fights. And truly, maybe against the Queen of Pain or the Ursa as well, heroes that don't like this instant stun lock, it could catch them off guard here. Pick off, can really turn a fight around with their burst, and they're going to try and lead into that with the Infest. Straight on top. Oli's in a pretty good position here. He'll attempt to relocate. Do they have the burst to go through him? But the moment they do, and now Oli, they cancel the relocate. This is a perfect timing to kill off the Io. This is the fight we were talking about, but Carl got the blink forward. The Ravage as well. On to 3. They now have to rely on the BKBs. Where's D-Stones for the Evoker? Damage at the moment, it's not enough. Flyby dropping the meteor hammer, but the instant bash from Firefly now with the buybacks coming to play. Great use of the deafening blast. It's at least going to push them back, but still D-Stones. He's needing to do more to turn this team fight around. A lot was first from Invictus Gaming. And getting that buyback on Clockwork, was there any other buybacks forced out there as well? No, so just the Clockwork.
So, but yes, the Clockwork, but some big ultimates and some big BKB timings out from, honestly, from both teams, but more so IG. I wonder, you just can't go in onto JT though.
They're gonna try and maybe just burn the mana, make life hard for JT, or giving space to kill off Karko, who Cogs pushed him on the high ground. No! Oh, that unfortunate Cogs play Karko, somehow getting away with his life.
You win some, you lose some. The Cogs before disrupted the IO's relocate, which is the reason that team fight didn't go so amazingly for IG in the first place, but you know, you take the good and the bad.
Do
One side, no boots of travel, but she's still got the TP scroll available.
Flyby, do you reckon he's had enough? 10 deaths now? They still they're like, nah, you know, Night Stalker, he hasn't had enough. Let's just kill him a couple more times.
He's fiending for it, mate.
He's just loving every death. Just space, he's saying.
Sure. You keep telling yourself that.
They might catch out Emo, Red Panda. Hook in, Felix should be able to offer up the follow-up control with the Hex, and yeah, the burst from Global is from the Sunstrike. Nice pick off there. Quap down for 80, and that should now dissuade IG from continuing to hit the tier 3 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Quap obviously much more impactful so far this game than the Night Stalker, so if it's that 1-for-1 trade, you're never really wanting to go in onto that high ground. Did I see... Oh, they've already got the AC on the Queen of Pain, so the fact that she wasn't there when they're sieging high ground is a little odd to me, if I'm being real. But it might have just been on the way after pushing out that creep wave. He's going next into the Refresher Orb.
Okay. Just...
I don't know how I feel about that.
At least it gives you a way to kill the lifesteal through the magic immunity. Like, they're probably thinking that he just gets it off on a slither of health and then you drop both Sonic Waves to kill him. Like, that's, I guess, double BKB is nice, maybe double Orchid, but I feel like you're really looking for that double Sonic Wave for that pure burst.
You're running really... You're keeping it tight with the mana situation, though. Like, you're basically using your entire mana pool, if that's the case. I think it has like a 100 mana grace period.
JT's got the Ag Shard now as well, so he's like, you know, good. Ursa, not the greatest sieger. Oh, nice timing. Yeah, Ursa, not the greatest sieger, so, you know, why not I put it into my own hands this game? I'll be the sieger.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I like this pick up here. You see that. How do you go through him? 3k health. He went for the Kraken Shell damage threshold reduction, and
I'm
also.
Pretty sure the tower does no damage to it now.
Well, that's a biggie. Fly solo killing the Invoker with the Abyssal. I believe that's the reveal. He's got Ag Shard too.
He's just pump faking the Ravage constantly. He's done it like 4 times next to God King. Just said, come on, BKB, just do it.
Look how much health he gets back. I mean, you need the Invoker as well to get rid of the Tidehunter's mana. Like, now he can play this aggressive, another pump fake, and well, now they can go to work. D-Stones has been such a valuable hero through these fights, and oh no, Invoke! Sorry, the Lifestealer! Spike Carapace after the Infest, they dropped the Sonic Wave, and no buybacks. Abyssal's even out from Fly. What a timing on that Spike Carapace there as soon as he jumped out of the Infest.
Dire's middle barracks are under
you know, it's not the first pump fake that gets you, it's the 8th one.
Yeah. Oh, Karkar again. The Carapace sets up for the Coddle kill, and maybe they've had enough as IG are running down their objectives. Tier 4's exposed in the game. Done and dusted. What a solid series for the boys on Radiant.
Radiant victory.
Yeah, very convincing showing from IG there in their, I believe, 2nd series so far of the Ember TV I-League. You know,
yes,
bringing it back, considering the showing that they had against Asta a few days ago. With you know, they've certainly righted the wrongs of that pre-15-minute GG that they had. This series had a lot more fight in them, that's for sure. Not even just, you know, with how late they were willing to take it, but they just seemed so much more aggressive than the IG that we've been used to.
That is always something though. You IG feels like when they can play this aggressive playstyle, like it's so difficult to go against them, and then they also have this late game capability. It's like, oh god, like what do you do? And unfortunately for them, that Night Stalker lane, it went really bad for Flyby. You have those games. It's he's going to clutch back up in their next series, no doubt about it. You know, he'll probably have a bit of a chip on his shoulder after a performance like that. He's like, boys, you know, I got us next game. Don't worry about that. But in the end, you know, that wasn't really the big issue. Invictus Gaming, the recognition on their timings, and I loved how they were able to really set up these fights earlier on with their kind of victory in the lanes. They recognized they didn't need as much farm to take these towers, started to suffocate the map, and how they were able to take these fights were just honestly on another level than RNG.
Yeah, suffocate the map is the exact way that I would put it. And you might have a quick look after this game and you might see, oh, Ursa, 19, 2 and 8 did the most damage for this game. I would still give the MVP to JT. He just enabled IG to be exactly where they wanted to be at basically all stages of the game and just cut off essentially half the map, because if JT was there, you could not kill it. Didn't die a single time, soaked up a ton of damage for his team, and then even at the end was the one that was, being there on the front lines. You were able to get a kill onto D-Stones while he was there in mid lane on his own, just 1v1ing a lifestealer, pushing the waves, taking towers, and there was nothing that you could do about it. So I thought his performance was phenomenal, and I'm keen to see more.
Yep. Overall, Invictus Gaming, an incredibly convincing 2-series victory to bring us to our close on our day 3 group stages here for the Imba TV I-League Season 2. But of course, there is a lot more group stage action for you guys. I mean, we've got 6 more days, I believe, of Dota action, and then the playoffs as well. Some incredible Chinese teams battling it out. It's going to be an exciting group stage. So what's next up? We got Vici Gaming versus Magma and Invictus Gaming versus Elephant tomorrow, starting at the same time. So we'll see you guys then for some more Imba TV I-League Season 2.